अचलकाया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कथामह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना करुणान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सकला ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने। श्रीवर्षवानवी देवी दायकाय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाद्या श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनदानुगा विरुधापा सिद्धान्तद्वन्द्वहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बारसम्बोधे पतङ्गोजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्द नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते। गौरविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णवा सार्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदनाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरकीशे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपास्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्तज्ञं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। चलतां सुरतां पङ्गो मम मन्दमध्यर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदम्बोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ। दिव्यात्मरिन्दरण्यकल्पद्रुमदा श्रीमान् रत्नाकर सिंहासनस्थौ श्री श्रीराधा शीलगोविन्द देवौ हृष्टालिभिः मनोस्मराणि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवथा तथा स्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथा श्रीयेष्टुनः। तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavastadmukatopi Va Yasmare Pundarikaksham Sabhayavyam Tarasuch. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and our worshipable acharyas of the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Parampara, we begin the ceremony of initiation. My sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for being with us today. This particular verse that we cited is a verse that Srila Prabhupada taught. It was traditionally recited and meditated upon at the times of making formal vows or commitments. Whether one is pure or not pure, or even having passed through all situations of life, one who remembers the beautiful, lotus-eyed, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, becomes purified within and without. Shri Prabhupada gave an analogy that when a drop of water falls from a cloud, it's pure. But when it comes in contact with the ground, it becomes adulterated, loses its transparency. We call it mud. But when you put the water through a filter, you take away that which is not the inherent nature of the water and bring it to its original natural state. And similarly, we are all originally Krishna conscious. But since time immemorial, in association with this material existence, with the three modes of nature, we have forgotten who we really are, what we really want, and what is our true purpose. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave a comprehensive volume of teachings to Sanatana Goswami and built it on a simple principle. Jivara Swarupoy Krishnera Nityadas. That we are the eternal soul, the life force within all living beings, is eternally a servant of Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kabuloi Saravanadi Sudichiti Koreyutoy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this very simple message, that the nature of the soul is to serve Krishna with love. Prema Pumartha Mahan. That love is the ultimate goal of life. It is the Purushartha Siromani. It is the highest attainment, but it can never be attained. Yogic powers, material prosperity, elevation to higher planets, even liberation from suffering can be, to some extent, achieved. But prema, the awakening of love for Krishna, is only possible by the mercy of Krishna. Atapumbe vijastreshtas varnashravirvagashashvanushtatasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritosha. When we live our life in such a way that Krishna is pleased, Krishna allows that love, that prema, that ananda to awaken within our hearts. And Krishna is all attractive and pavitra. He's supremely pure. When we associate with Krishna, we become purified. When we remember Krishna, especially in a favorable way in which Krishna is pleased, then Krishna attracts us. Srila Prabhupada gave another analogy of a magnet. A magnet attracts, irresistibly attracts metal filings. But if the filings are caked and covered by dirt and dust and everything else, there's no attraction. So to the degree we're not attracted to Krishna is to the degree we're covered by the dirt and the dust of material misconceptions built on the false ego. These are called anarthas. And in this world, people, they strive so hard to satisfy these anarthas. Selfish lust, anger, greed, envy, arrogance, illusion. People go to universities to serve these anarthas. People tolerate traffic jams in London. And work so hard. People have to put up with so many people they don't really like just to satisfy these anarthas. But tapasya, which is the purpose of human life, to divyam putrikayena sattvam, is to not live to satisfy these anarthas of our selfish inclinations. But then our nature is anandamayo vyashat. We're pleasure-seeking beings. We have to find pleasure somewhere, in something, or with someone. So by remembering Krishna, by being connected to Krishna, because Krishna is supremely pure and all attractive, we become purified and attracted to Krishna. Paramdrisvani vartate. One could give up these lower inclinations by experiencing something higher. Krishna has appeared out of his supreme kindness. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. We cry out for Krishna, who is a shoreless, bottomless ocean of kindness, compassion, mercy. Krishna tells in Gita, Suhrita Sarvabhutana. He's forever the most loving, well-wishing friend of everyone, forever. There's nothing we can do to change that. We could forget it. We can be entangled in the network of so many material complexities and suffer birth after birth. Krishna remains Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrideshya Janatishthati. He remains within our heart as our most intimate, loving friend and well-wisher. Ahambija Pradavita. He's our supreme mother and our eternal father. Bahunam janmanam ande jnanavamam papadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahmasutva. Srila Prabhupada, in a recording I recently heard, he said the purpose of all knowledge is one, and that is to bring one to the point of surrendering to Krishna, to Vasudeva. Yeyatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajanya. As we surrender, Krishna reveals himself accordingly. According to the sincerity of how we take shelter of Krishna, through our prayer, through our sadhana, through our sadachar, through our character, and through our life, our seva. Krishna purifies us by revealing himself and attracts our heart. Srila Rupa Goswami quotes that all the, from Srimad Bhagavatam, all the knowledge of all the scriptures and all of creation are to bring us to following two principles. To always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And Krishna has appeared in the beautiful form of Sri Radha Gokulananda, Radha Landanishwara, and so many Murtis by Srila Prabhupada's grace throughout the entire world. Sri Krishna, Sri Radha, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are personally, with their full opulences, present before our eyes, giving us opportunity to offer personal service. And Krishna has appeared in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavad itself tells that when Krishna left this world to dispel the darkness of this age of Kali, he incarnated in the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. These holy scriptures are deities of Krishna, not different than Krishna. Krishna appears within the heart of our Gurus and the Vaishnavas. And according to how we serve our Gurus and the Vaishnavas, Krishna reciprocates, reveals himself. And especially in this age of Kali, all of these different manifestations, incarnations of Krishna are there to inspire us to take shelter of Krishna, who has appeared in his holy names. Kaler dosa nidhi rajan asti ekumahan guna Kirtana eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param vraje. This Kali Yuga is an ocean of distractions and faults. But there's a benediction. By taking shelter of Krishna's holy names, one can attain the perfection of liberation. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. And Krishna has many names, and there's no hard and fast rules for chanting them. But Krishna has invested, he's fully present with all of his potencies in his holy names. This is the greatest blessing. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya, he stated, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. The highest benediction is that Krishna has descended in the form of his name. When Lord Chaitanya came to this world, 500 years ago approximately, he came as Krishna in his original supreme form to taste the sweetness of Radha's love, the supreme lover of the Dini Shakti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his beautiful pastimes, he revealed to us something that's so inconceivable and so beyond our imagination or our ability to comprehend forever. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells that even Krishna cannot understand the intimacy of the love and the happiness in the heart of Sri Radha when she serves him. So Lord Chaitanya has come to experience that and to share it with the world. Namo Mahabharanyaya. Rarest, most munificent, merciful of all incarnations. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the ultimate perfection of all true religion, love of God. And opening the doors in that love to the intimacy of the residents of Vrindavan, to Krishna. When Lord Chaitanya was in Varanasi, at the beginning, people were not listening to him. Most of the population were not even respecting him, because he was teaching that the most inclusive, the highest of all revelations of the Supreme Truth is personal. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Iti Satyate. The absolute truth, Vedanti Tat Tat Vividas, is explained to be one, Advaita. There's one God. There's one truth, who is the source of everything that exists in everyone. Janmadya Shayata. That one truth is eternally revealing himself in three features. The all-pervading light called Brahman. The presence of the Lord within the heart of every living being is Paramatma. And the supreme, all-loving personality of God. To approach the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna tells, Bhaktivedanta Manor aham evam vidurjana yatam tarastam chatatvena pravesham chariparanta. It's only possible through devotion, through bhakti. One can realize various aspects of the Supreme Truth and find peace, find liberation, find prosperity. But to awaken that praying, that love for the Supreme Person is only possible through devotional service. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so merciful. When he was in Varanasi, he said, nobody seems to want. I'm a gardener, and I've brought the fruits of prema, of ecstatic love for Krishna. I'm willing to give it for freely to anyone who will simply accept it. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he revealed his heart in a very intimate way by inviting all of his devotees, please help me to distribute these fruits of love of God. How many can I distribute with my hands? In 1922 at Ultadunga Junction Road on that rooftop, our beloved Srila Prabhupada got that instruction from Bhaktivedanta Saraswati to take the message of Lord Chaitanya, the holy names of Krishna, the grace of our parampara, to give the opportunity in any town, in every village. He said, spread this message of Lord Chaitanya in the English language all over the world. It was an incredible instruction because no one had ever done it in history. As Pragosh Prabhu was telling in 1965, after preparing his whole life for this purpose, Srila Prabhupada left his home in Vrindavan and boarded the MV Jaladuta, a cargo ship, and sailed across many continents and many seas for 38 days. And when he arrived in the West, he just had boxes of Srimad Bhagavatams and faith in the order of his Guru Maharaj and Krishna's holy names. "50 years ago, on September 11th, Srila Prabhupada arrived in London. And we are so fortunate that one of the people who personally invited him and performed unbelievable, incredible services to prepare for his coming and to be right there to meet him is with us. Her Grace Malati Devi. His Grace Shamsundar Prabhu wrote this book, Chasing Rhinos with the Swami. And Prabhupada said, if you chase a rhinoceros, if you don't catch it, everyone will say nobody can catch a rhinoceros. But if you do catch, everyone will say, oh, how wonderful. No, I don't know so much about these things, but I remember when I was a little boy, I would see on television, chasing rhinos is really dangerous. It's probably the most dangerous animal in the world to chase. You have to be like in armored cars, because they just run after you and just knock your car over and crush you and everything like that. So it's very dangerous. So we should understand that when these devotees were chasing rhinos with the Swami, they were putting their life totally at risk. But because Srila Prabhupada was giving them with such love, with such affection, Krishna consciousness, they were joyful. They were chasing species far more dangerous than rhinoceros. They were happy. So happy that in their association, even the rhinoceroses became happy and became devotees. And then they did the same thing to others. So on the day that Srila Prabhupada arrived in London, he was being interviewed by some newspaper and television and magazine reporters. And they were asking him questions. And it's interesting. I was just listening to the talk. It's recorded. Prabhupada said that he had been to London before, in 1967. He was ill, and he was returning to India to recover his health, to Vrindavan. And on the way back to India, he stopped in London for 2 days. But now he has come back, welcomed by his who had been serving with all their hearts, with all their souls, unconditionally, month after month after month. And Prabhupada was so happy. Newspaper reporter asked what he thinks of the reception. Because obviously devotees were really enthusiastic. They were chanting, probably showering flowers and everything like that. Smiling, they were dancing. And Prabhupada said, I am not so concerned with reception for me, but I'm very happy because of the good reception for the Krishna consciousness movement in England. And then Srila Prabhupada was asked, what have you come to teach? And Srila Prabhupada spoke the eternal message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, I have come to teach you what you have forgotten. That we are all eternal loving servants of Krishna. The true happiness that we're all seeking is to feel Krishna's love and to reciprocate with our love through service. And Srila Prabhupada was very, very specific and clear. I have come to teach that God is a person, who is the reservoir of all pleasure. And how to love Krishna. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about distributing the fruits and how dear that person was to him, Srila Prabhupada, he took those fruits around the world 12 times. And he came here to London. And actually it was from London, as far as my understanding, that Krishna consciousness actually became global. In New York, he started that storefront, 2nd Avenue, and it spread in the East Village and other little areas of New York City. And then it went to America, to San Francisco. And through the connections devotees made there, it actually spread throughout America. And when Prabhupada came to London, to the United Kingdom, with the help of the records that the devotees made with George Harrison, Krishna consciousness, the Hare Krishna mantra, actually expanded to the whole world. In 1973, Srila Prabhupada came here to the Bhaktivedanta Manor, established Radha Gokulananda soon after. Like 50 years ago, Srila Prabhupada came here. He established the first marble deities in our movement, Sri Sri Radhanatha Ishwar, with his own loving hands. And we'll be hearing those stories over the next few days from people who were personal, direct eyewitnesses. At that time, I was still in high school, somewhere in the Midwest, so I can only speak what I have heard from them. But Radhanatha Ishwar, so intimately, they arranged to be kidnapped by Srila Prabhupada. So sweet. And the devotees, what do they know about the standards of deity worship in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara? We read about Madhvacharya's standards of deity worship in Udupi. We read about the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, their standards of deity worship in Vrindavan and how it's been passed down over the I didn't see any. So Srila Prabhupada installed the deities with the same gravity and expectation of the previous acharyas and entrusted to these devotees, these 6 devotees that came here. 7. One was a baby. And with such commitment, with such dedication, they actually established standards of deity worship that were even higher than most of the temples in India and in Vrindavan, with love. So we are all very fortunate. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, he's our founder Acharya. And all the devotees within our society, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, temple presidents, GPC, Sankirtan leaders, congregational devotees, brahmacharis, whatever our particular role and service may be, we are all meant to cooperatively serve together to assist Srila Prabhupada's mission. And today this initiation, as it has been said, is a wonderful opportunity to commit ourselves for our lives to chant at least 16 rounds, to follow these 4 regulative principles, to be the servant of the servant within Srila Prabhupada's society, and to assist each other in distributing these fruits of Krishna consciousness to others. To the extent we can appreciate what we've been given, we'll find the deepest meaning, purpose, and joy in our life. If we can truly appreciate what Srila Prabhupada has given us, Savai Bong Sang Puro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Hokshajiya Hoitakiya Pradihata Gigatma Suprasiddhi. Unconditional, uninterrupted, loving service to Sri Krishna. The supreme Dharma. Then whatever impediments, whatever hardships, whatever challenges may come, we can pass through them gladly. And that is why association of devotees and keeping very faithful sadhana is important. So we keep a very bright focus on the gift that has been given to us. And to live our life in such a way where we realize the greatest joy is to reciprocate with that gift. And that is the spirit of initiation. Thank you very much.